The wind on Corda Station cut like knives, sharp and cold, even inside the metal tunnels. Light flickered weakly from broken signs, casting long shadows across the dirty floors. No one stopped to help the starving. No one cared for the weak Zara. Sat on the freezing metal floor, holding her daughter close to her chest. Her arms were bare, skin turning blue, but she didn't care about herself. Only her daughter mattered. Little Luna, just 3 years old, had stopped crying. That scared Zara the most. She had traded her last clothes earlier that day for a half-rotten protein bar. She fed it all to Luna. Now Zara wore only a thin blanket made from trash, barely covering her body. She shivered, her bones hurting. With every breath, her tail, once long and proud, now curled tightly around her legs. Hiding the bruises, people walked past. Humans, aliens, traitors, soldiers. They saw her. They saw Luna, but they looked away. "Not my problem," whispered one traitor. "Another beggar," said a guard. Zara didn't beg anymore. Her pride had died 2 weeks ago, when she first slept beside a trash bin just to avoid the patrols. Now, she only focused on one thing, keeping Luna alive. Luna stirred weakly in her arms. "Mommy," she whispered, "I'm cold." Zara bit her lip hard. No tears came, her body had no water left to cry. "I know, my love," she whispered back. "Just a little longer. Maybe someone kind will come." She didn't believe her own words. That's when he appeared. Boots stepped into her sight. Human-made, scratched from years of walking. She looked up slowly. A tall human man stood before her, wearing a thick brown jacket, a scarf wrapped around his neck. His face was rough, maybe late 30s. With tired green eyes, he looked at her. Not past her, not through her at her Zara. Flinched. "I have nothing," she said quickly, her voice hoarse. "No credits. No work. Please, don't take her." The man didn't speak right away. He knelt down slowly, lowering himself to Luna's level. "Your child needs heat," he said softly. "She won't survive the night." Zara wrapped Luna tighter. "We'll manage." He shook his head. "No, you won't." His voice wasn't cold. It wasn't fake kindness either. It was quiet, honest, like someone who had seen too much suffering and didn't want to see more. Zara narrowed her eyes. "What do you want in return?" The man paused. "Nothing." Luna opened her eyes. The girl's face was thin, eyes sunken, skin pale. Still, she looked at the man and blinked. "Are you a good guy?" she asked. The man smiled. "Not really. But I try." He stood up and opened his jacket. "I've got a ship docked just a level above. Cargo freighter. It's warm, it's safe, and there's food. You can rest there, both of you." Zara's heart pounded. Gosh, this had to be a trick. It was always a trick. The last person who offered help had tried to sell her to slavers. But Luna coughed again, this time a deep, dry sound. She needed help. Now. Zara looked up at the man. "If you hurt her, I'll kill you, no matter what happens to me." He nodded, serious. "Fair deal." With shaking legs, Zara stood. Her body screamed from pain, but she didn't show it. And followed the man. They walked slowly through the streets of Corda Station. No one stopped them. No one cared. A half-naked alien woman and a human walking together. It's just another strange pair in the lower levels. He led them to an old lift, barely working. When they reached dock level 17, she saw his ship's maul, gray, dented, but real. It had a name painted on the side, the Second Chance. Inside, heat hit her like a wave. Luna made a small sound, almost a laugh. The man handed Zara a blanket, then pointed to a small room with a bed. "She can sleep there." Zara sat Luna down gently and fed her the warm soup the man brought. Wasn't much, but Luna's eyes lit up. She smiled at her mother.
"I'd say."
And Zara felt her chest ache. They were safe for now. The man leaned against the wall and watched them quietly. Zara finally spoke. "Why?" she asked. He looked at her. "Because I see you." That answer confused her. No one had ever said anything like that. She studied him carefully. His face was lined, his hands calloused. He didn't look rich or important, but he had helped when no one else did. "What's your name?" she asked. "Dax," he replied. "You?"
Yes.
"Era, and my daughter's name is Luna." He gave a small nod, but even as the warmth filled the room, something cold pressed against Zara's spine. This was too easy. It's a kind nothing this good. Lasted, and in the corner of the ship's scanner, display something blinked red. A bounty signal had just activated. They were being tracked. Zara didn't sleep. The room was warm. The bed was soft. Luna was finally breathing better beside her, but Zara lay awake, staring at the dull metal ceiling above, heart pounding like a war drum. Her fingers stayed curled around a broken piece of glass she had hidden in her sleeve, her last weapon. Dax had done nothing wrong that made her more afraid. She'd learned the rules of survival. On Corda Station, if someone helped you without asking for anything, they were either crazy, dangerous, or wanted something worse later. Zara turned her head. Through the cracked door, she could see Dax sitting at the control station. And he wasn't. Watching her, he was focused on something outside the ship's window. She noticed how quiet he was. No questions. No jokes. No small talk. Just food, warmth, and silence. It made her feel unsafe. Her ears twitched. She heard him stand, boots thudding softly on the floor. He walked toward the small kitchen unit, took out a metal canister, and poured hot water into 2 cups. Moments later, he walked to her door. She sat up quickly, hiding the glass in her hand. He stopped in the doorway. "No closer, tea," he said simply. "Made from earth mint leaves. Good for the nerves." Zara stared at him, held the cup out, but didn't enter the room. He just waited. She didn't move. Finally, Luna woke up and sniffed the air. "Is that smell, Mama?" Zara slowly took the cup, fingers brushing his glove for just a second. She looked into his eyes. They didn't flicker. No hunger, no games, just tiredness. He turned and walked back to the control panel without another word. Zara sat down again. The tea warmed her hands. Her mind, though, stayed cold. Hours passed. She tried to sleep, but her thoughts screamed. Who was this human? Why had he saved them? She stepped out quietly and walked to the front of the ship. Dax was still sitting, watching the starfield outside, and lights from nearby ships blinked far in the distance. She stood in silence for a moment before speaking. "Where did you learn to fight?" He looked back. "I didn't say I could. You carry a laser pistol under your coat. Left side, worn grip. You hide it, but not well." Dax gave a small smile, sharp eyes. "I used to be a daughter of the High Circle," she said softly, "before they called me traitor." He turned in his chair. "You want to tell me the rest?" She hesitated. "No, then don't," he said calmly. "I'm not your jailer." Zara stared at him. "You really expect nothing?" "No. Everyone wants something." "I want to see your daughter live," he replied, serious now. "So that's all?" Zara looked down at the floor. His words were strange, heavy, but she couldn't believe them. Not yet. Then she noticed something on his screen. A small red pulse blinking slowly in the top corner. "What's that?" Dax followed her gaze and frowned. "Long-range ping. Weak but steady." He tapped a button. The display zoomed in. A ship, small, black, unmarked, was trailing far behind them. Beyond normal scanner range, Zara's blood turned to ice. "It's them," she whispered. "They're tracking me." Dax stood up, walking closer to the screen. "Who?" "I escaped a Syndicate weeks ago. They wanted my daughter's blood for tests. For something dark? I still don't know what. But I stole something before I ran. A file? Maybe a key? I hid it." "In your daughter?" Dax asked quietly. Zara nodded. "In her DNA." Didn't flinch. "And now they want her back." "Burn this ship apart if they find us." Dax stared at the scanner, then back at her. "Then we don't let them find us." He started typing fast, treating the signal, adding noise to the scanners, preparing to jump. Zira grabbed his arm. Why are you doing this? Why risk your life? Dax looked into her eyes. Because I've seen what happens when people look away. I did that once, not again. She slowly let go. Suddenly Luna's voice called from the back room, soft and sleepy. Mama? Zara turned and walked quickly to her. Luna sat up, rubbing her eyes. I had a dream. What dream? Zara whispered, sitting beside her. You were flying through fire, but the man with the green eyes caught you, didn't let go. Zara froze, then gently held her daughter close. Later that night, as the ship floated quietly through the trade lanes, Zara stood at the window. She watched the stars, her body finally warm, her child safe, but her mind stayed alert. The black ship still followed, quiet, patient. This human had given them safety for now, but she knew better. Nothing stayed safe for long, and in the dark, they were being hunted. Before the fall, Zara wore robes stitched with silver thread. She walked on glowing floors above crowds that bowed in silence. She spoke in council chambers. She made laws. That was before they called her impure, before they chased her. With fire and chains now, she was hiding in a worn-out freighter, wrapped in second-hand blankets, her child asleep beside her. While death followed from the stars, Zara stared at herself in the mirror of the ship's washroom. Her once violet skin looked gray. Her eyes were tired. The royal mark that used to glow on her forehead had faded, into nothing. She looked like trash, just as they had said. She didn't hear Dax step into the hallway until he spoke. You don't look like trash to me. Zara spun around, heart racing. Stay out of my head, human. I wasn't in it, Dax said, leaning against the wall. But I've seen that look before, in the eyes of soldiers and survivors. She narrowed her eyes. Do you know what it feels like? To be born into power, only to be told you're a mistake? He stayed quiet. Zara's voice dropped. My daughter's father was human. A mistake, they said. A disgrace to the bloodline. They wiped my family name from the records. My child was called the Cursed One. Dax took a slow breath. The ones who called her that are the same ones tracking you now? She nodded. The Syndicate. They deal in flesh, blood, and secrets. They learned my daughter's DNA could activate old tech left behind by the first builders. Precursor tech? Dax asked. Zara nodded. When Luna was born, they ran tests behind my back, found something they wanted. Something they didn't want her to keep. And you ran, he said. I burned the lab first, she whispered. They didn't just want her DNA. They wanted to cut her open, upload her core memory to their machines, and kill her. Dax's hands clenched. She's just a child, he said, voice low. She's more than that, Zara said. DNA, it changed. I don't know how. But somehow, she holds codes that can unlock or destroy, and I won't let anyone touch her. Dax turned and walked to the command seat. The screen still showed the black ship in the distance. So then we don't let them close. Zara followed. You really think this old ship can outrun a Syndicate vessel? No, he said. But I don't need to outrun them. He pressed a button. Lights on the control panel flickered. I just need to outthink them. Zara blinked. You're a traitor. How do you know about precursors and syndicates? He looked at her. I wasn't always a traitor. He pulled a worn patch from his pocket and a faded logo 2 wings. Wrapped around a star, Zara gasped. Union Ghost Corps? He nodded. You're Black Ops, was he said. Left after they burned a city full of civilians because they might have carried a virus. Zara stared at him. So why save me? Dax looked at the blinking ship on the screen. Because I didn't save them. The room went silent. Then, Luna's voice broke the stillness. Mommy, she called softly. Zara turned fast. I'm here, Luna. Luna stood at the doorway, holding a small glowing cube, one Zara didn't recognize. Where did you get that? Zara asked. Luna tilted her head. It was under the bed. I dreamed about it. It told me to find it. Dax frowned. That's not from my ship. Zara stepped closer. The cube floated in Luna's hand. Surface shimmered with strange alien symbols. Then, without warning, cube shot a beam of light at the wall. A 3D map appeared. Stars, coordinates, symbols, and at the center, a locked door. Dax's eyes widened. That's Precursor script. That's a vault, Zara whispered. It's inside her. The location, the key. Luna looked at her mother, confused. Did I do something bad? Zara knelt beside her, wrapping her arms around the girl. No, my love. You did something amazing. Dax walked to the display. If this is real, they'll do anything to get her. Zara nodded. Then we need to disappear. No, Dax said. Now, we fight. She stood, staring at him. You'd go to war for us? I already did, Dax said. The moment I opened my door to you, the ship's alarm suddenly beeped. The black ship was closing in. A message played on repeat, sharp and cold. Surrender. The child, or be erased. Zara stepped in front of Luna, her voice calm. Let them come. Asterisk, the warning lights turned red. The black ship was no longer distant. It was now close to close and locking weapons. Dax jumped into the pilot's seat. Hold tight. Zara grabbed Luna and strapped her into a safety cradle. Her heart thudded so loud she could barely hear. What's the plan? She asked. Breathless, we run, Dax said, into the shadow rings. Zara froze. That place kills everyone who enters. Not everyone, Dax said, his fingers flying over the controls. Just the ones who don't know how to dance. He flipped a final switch. The engine screamed to life, and the second chance roared forward straight, to a field of floating rock and shattered moons. The shadow rings were a cursed zone of space. Long ago, a planet exploded there. Now, only. Ruins remain broken chunks spinning at deadly speeds. The gravity was twisted, time sometimes bent. Ships went in and never came out. It was the perfect place to disappear or die. The black ship followed. It was faster, stronger, armed with plasma cannons. But it had one weakness. It wasn't human. Dax pushed the ship through gaps that seemed too small, twisting the controls with a strange rhythm. Zara watched, amazed, as he slipped through spinning debris like a dancer dodging knives. You've flown this before? She whispered. I trained here, he said. Union ghost pilots called it the Devil's Arena. Behind them, the black ship blasted a rock apart, trying to force a path. Flames lit the shadows. Debris shifted violently. Zara held onto the wall. Luna, are you okay? I'm okay, Luna called, voice shaking. This is scary fun. Zara gave a weak smile. Her child still had spirit. Dax dodged. The spiral of razor-sharp ice crystals. They're gaining. We need something bold. Zara leaned forward. 3 turns ahead, there's a collapse zone. Gravity well. If you fly close enough, it'll slingshot us around the belt. Dax glanced at her. You sure? My father once raced there, she said. Only 2 survived. Dax grinned. Guess I'll be the 3rd. They flew faster now, closer to death than Zara ever imagined. Rocks scraped the ship's sides. One engine began to overheat. Warning signals flashed red across the dashboard. Behind them, the black ship closed in. Shot hit. Their tail sparks flew. Luna screamed. Almost there, Dax shouted. The collapse zone was ahead, glowing with purple lightning, swirling like a storm made of stars. Zara's mind raced. You have to go full power into the edge and cut engines right after. Let the pull fling us. Dax didn't question her. He trusted her. He pushed the throttle to maximum, engines howling. Then, not the perfect moment, he killed the drive. The ship lurched sideways, sucked by invisible force, then hurled forward with impossible speed. They shot out of the zone like a comet. The black ship tried to follow. But it wasn't fast enough. One of its wings clipped the gravity edge. The enemy ship spun wildly and slammed into a floating rock the size of a mountain. A flash of fire lit the shadows behind them. Silence. just the soft hum of systems powering down. Dax exhaled. That was close. Zara sat back, chest heaving. She looked at him. Really looked at him. You trusted my word. He met her eyes. You trusted my hands. For a moment, something passed between them. Not fear, not anger. Respect. Luna ran into Zara's arms, giggling. That was so fast. We flew like shooting stars. Zara kissed her forehead. We did, little one. We really did. Later, as Dax repaired the engine in silence, Zara brought him a drink. You saved us, she said. You saved us too, he replied. She sat beside him. I never thought I'd trust a human again. Dax looked at her. I never thought I'd fight for someone again. Soft silence settled between them. Then Dax's face changed. What is it? Zira asked. He stood quickly. Pulling up the scanner, the enemy's signal was gone, but something else blinked on the edge of the display. New ship. No ID. No registry. Zira's blood ran cold. That's worse than Syndicate. That's bounty. Dax frowned. They must have tracked the fight. They're coming for the prize. Zara held Luna close. They won't stop, will they? No, Dax said. Gotta. But neither will I. Far behind them, in the cold shadow of the dead zone, the black ship still floated, burned, broken, inside. One red eye lit up, transmission sent, target location confirmed, and from deep space, another hunter began to move. The ship floated in silence. No more running, no more chasing, just silence. Dax sat alone near the engine room, fixing a burnt-out relay. Sparks flew, but he didn't flinch. He worked with the quiet focus of a soldier, not just a traitor. Zara watched from the doorway, her arms crossed, eyes narrowed. You've done this before, she said. Yeah, Dax replied, not looking up. 100 times. Not just repairs, she said. I mean all of this fighting, flying, risking your life. Dax gave a small nod. Hey, tell me the truth, she said. Who are you? He tightened a bolt, wiped his hands, and finally looked up. I was a ghost, he said softly. Union Special Ops, Recon, Extraction, Sabotage. Zara stepped forward. But ghosts are only sent into the worst places. Exactly, Dax said. Watched commanders trade lives for politics. I followed orders. What made you stop? She asked. Dax looked past her into memory. There was a mission, small colony, mostly women and children. We were told it was infected with a biovirus. I led the strike. He paused. There was no virus, just people. Innocent people. Zira saw something in his eyes, a quiet pain that never healed. I left after that, he finished. Took this ship and disappeared. She said nothing. At first, then softly, and now you're helping me. Why? Because I couldn't save them, he said. But maybe I can save you. Zira's throat tightened. In that moment, she didn't see a soldier or a traitor. She saw a man broken by guilt, but still choosing to do good, and she began to trust him not just with her life, but her daughter's future later that night. Luna was drawing pictures on the wall screen with her fingers, little stars and moons glowing with soft light. Zara sat beside her. What are you drawing, little one? I see them in my dreams, Luna said. The stars and the door. Zira's heart skipped. What door? Luna pointed to a shape-hand oval gate with strange symbols. It wants me to come, she said. It says, I belong. Zara gently took her hand. Luna, listen to me. If anything ever talks to you in your dreams, you tell me, okay? Luna nodded. Okay, Mama. Dax entered, carrying a small scanner. I need to check something, he said. Zara looked worried. What is it? I found something strange in the cube's signal, Dax explained. It's not just coordinates, it's calling her. He scanned Luna carefully, gently. The scanner lit up. Zara gasped. Inside Luna's DNA was something layered, ancient, complex. Like a code, Dax whispered. This isn't just data. This is an access key. To what? I don't know. Zera's voice shook. The precursors. They made vaults, gates, machines no one could open. My ancestors tried. Even the Syndicate failed. She can open them, Dax said. That's why they want her. Suddenly the ship's lights flickered. The screen lit up. Incoming transmission it. Wasn't a Syndicate voice this time? It was something worse. A flat, loud, dead voice echoed through the speakers. The child is claimed. Surrender her. You have 1 hour. Dax's eyes narrowed. Guild bounty. Zera backed away from the screen. They don't care about payment. They erase witnesses. Dax paced the room. We can't run. Not now. They'll track every jump. Then what do we do? Zera asked. He stopped. We fight smart. In the next hour, they built their plan. Dax opened secret panels in the shiphold compartments from his ghost days. Weapons, armor, signal jammers. Zera helped set traps, using her noble education to align false beacon signatures and decoys. Luna slept in the center of the ship, surrounded by a protection field. Before the hour ended, Dax sat beside her. He gently touched Luna's hair. You're brave, little one? Luna opened her eyes. Are you scared? He smiled. A little, but that means I'm still alive. She giggled. He stood and turned to Zera. If we don't make it, no. Zera said, we will. But Dax held out a data chip. If I fall, take this. It's my old Union access code. It'll get you safe passage on any core world. Promise me. Zera stared at the chip, then slowly took it. I won't let you die, she whispered. Then stay close, Dax said. Because the storm is coming. It's outside the ship, in the cold black of space, a large vessel, uncloaked. It had no lights, no name, just metal cold. Silent, deadly, deadly. Inside, bounty hunters loaded their gear machines, blades, tranquilizers. They didn't speak. They didn't miss. But this time, they were hunting a human who didn't fear death and an alien mother who had already lost everything once. This time, the prey would fight back. Asterisk, the ship was silent but not asleep. Dax moved, like a shadow, checking every wire, every vent, every hidden charge he'd placed. Zera followed him, her sharp alien eyes adjusting to the dim light, helping him mark every blind spot. The plan wasn't perfect, but it was human, and that meant it didn't have to be fair. It just had to be clever. Zera stood in the main corridor. With Dax, going over the final steps. You're using yourself as bait? She asked. Yes, he said. They want the girl, but they also want me out of the way. So I give them what they want me, weak and alone. And the escape pod? She asked. I programmed it to launch empty. They'll think you fled, and send most of their team after it. Zera crossed her arms. It's insane. Dax smiled. Good. She didn't smile back. What if they kill you before we spring the trap? Then you use the data chip and vanish. Zera stepped close. You act like your life doesn't matter. He met her eyes. It stopped mattering the day I let. Innocent people die. If I save you and Luna, it starts mattering again. Her voice cracked. Don't make me watch you die. Looked away, then don't. 30 minutes later, the bounty ship docked. Its airlock hissed open, no warning. No signal. Just silence. 6 armored figures stepped inside, cloaked in black, faces hidden. Weapons humming. Dax waited in the central bay, hands raised. He looked weak, tired, alone. You're early, he said. No reply. The lead bounty hunter aimed a plasma rifle at him. Where's the girl? Dax shrugged. Gone. Escape pod launched 10 minutes ago. Second hunter turned toward the launch bay, confirming. Dax kept talking, buying time. You people don't waste breath, huh? Always thought the guild was more polite. Still. No answer. Suddenly. The lead bounty raised his hand and fired. A stun bolt hit Dax in the chest. He dropped, motionless, from a small crawl space behind the wall. Zera watched everything through a crack. She whispered now. All around the ship, small charges activated not to explode, but to blind. Flash bombs, smoke, sound jammers. Dax's hidden defenses from a lifetime ago. The bounty hunters. Staggered one, screamed, his helmet shorting out. Another slipped on the smoke-slick floor, weapon clattering away. Zara jumped into action. She moved like a blade. Sliding between beams of light, her tail wrapped around a rifle, yanked it away. Her elbow smashed a visor. Her knee broke a jaw. She was not just a mother. She was trained, and she was furious. 2 bounty hunters tried to flee. They never made it. Dax awake, playing Dedrose from the floor, and fired clean shots. The last hunter aimed at Luna's room. Nitrogen, monoxide. Zara screamed. She grabbed a fallen baton, flung it like a spear. It hit the target's neck. He dropped. Silence returned. Smoke cleared. Dax panted. That was too close. Zara stumbled to his side. "I thought you were dead." "Almost was," he said. "But your scream woke me up." They locked the unconscious bounty crew in the airlock, set the controls, and jettisoned them. Into space, Zur watched the black ship slowly drift away empty. Now, but her mind wasn't calm, because something was wrong. Hours passed. Luna slept peacefully. Zara sat beside Dax in the control room. His shirt was torn, blood staining the fabric. "You need rest," she said. "So do you." She touched his arm. "You're not alone anymore." He looked at her eyes, soft. "I know." She leaned closer, forehead touching his. "I never thought I'd trust a human. But you're not like them." He smiled. "Neither are you." Just then, the emergency light blinked red. Zara rushed to the screen. One signal, not a ship, a beacon. Broadcasting from inside the cargo hold, her heart stopped. She turned to Dax. Someone left a tracker. They ran to the cargo bay. Inside, broken crates lay everywhere. Dax ripped them open one by one. Then he froze inside one crate, hidden under metal scraps, like a small transmitter. Still blinking, still live. Dax cursed. They never wanted to win the fight. They wanted us to think. We did. Zara's voice shook. They knew we'd run. They wanted us to feel safe. He crushed the tracker under his boot. Too late, the ship's alarm wailed. Zara looked at the scanner. A massive shape appeared. Not a bounty ship. Not Syndicate. Something. Bigger, older, darker. The screen lit up with alien symbols, ones she hadn't seen in years. Her breath caught. "No," she whispered. "That's not possible." Dax looked at her. "What is it?" Zara turned slowly. "That is a Precursor vessel." The ship loomed ahead, silent, massive, shaped like a black crescent with glowing blue veins. It wasn't built for war. It was built before war even existed. A Precursor vessel. Zara stood frozen at the control screen, her hands shaking. "It's real," she whispered. The legends were true. Dax stared at the strange craft. It's responding to Luna's signal. The glowing cube had reactivated, floating near the ceiling, spinning slowly. Luna stood below it, eyes wide. "It wants me to come." "No," Zara said, pulling her close. "It's too dangerous." Dax placed a hand on Zara's shoulder. "She's not afraid," Zara whispered. "That scares me more." They boarded a small shuttle and floated toward the ancient vessel. No weapons. No guards. The hangar door opened by itself, metal peeling back like soft light. Inside, the walls shimmered with symbols language older than stars. The cube floated. Ahead, guiding them through long halls made of crystal and stone, Luna walked calmly between her mother and Dax, holding both their hands. "It's not speaking," she said. "Singing." They reached a chamber at the heart of the ship. A massive door stood tall, marked with the same star shape as the one Luna drew days ago. The cube flew into the air and shattered into light. That light entered Luna. Her eyes glowed briefly. Then, the door opened. Inside was a message, not sound, not words. A memory, shared through light. They all saw it. Worlds burning, empires falling, The Precursor's fading, one last hope hidden in code, sealed in a child's DNA to be awakened by choice. Not force. Zira dropped to her knees. They didn't create weapons, she said. They created seeds, carriers of renewal, Dax whispered. Your daughter, she's one of them. Luna looked up at them, calm. I know what to do now. Back aboard the Second Chance, the sky around them changed. The Precursor ship sent a pulse reaching systems across the galaxy. All who were hunting them, Syndicate, bounty guilds, pirates, received the same signal. Stand down.
Ow.
The seed has awakened. Panic spread. Fleets retreated. Trackers blinked out. Zara held Luna close. You did it, my love. You changed everything. But Luna didn't smile, Mama, she said softly. The ship said something else. Zara looked into her eyes. Showed me a shadow, a sickness coming. Not here yet, but soon. Axe listened carefully. And the key to stopping it, Luna continued, isn't just me, it's you too. He blinked. Me. A ship chose both of you, Luna said. I'm the spark. But you're the one who has to carry the flame. Later in the quiet of the ship, Dax stood alone. The message echoed in his mind. The Precursors hadn't left weapons. They left paths. They needed protectors, people who could choose to act, even when it hurt. Dax was one of them now. Zara approached. Slowly you're leaving, aren't you? He nodded, only for a while. The Precursor signal opened doors. I need to find out what's behind them. Stop whatever's coming. She held his hand tightly. I don't want to lose you. You won't, he said. You gave me something no one else did. She frowned. What? A reason to come. Back. The next morning, the ship docked on a safe planet, one untouched by war. Zira and Luna stood on the cliffside. Watching Dax prepare his small scout vessel, Luna ran up and hugged him. Promise you'll come back? He knelt down. Cross my heart. She placed a small glowing stone in his hand. The ship gave this to me. It's a guide. It will lead you home. He looked at it and smiled, then turned to Zira. She didn't speak. Just stepped close and pressed her forehead to his, just like she had once done on the station. May the stars guide your path, she whispered in her old royal tongue. Dax responded in the same dialect, words he had never learned. The bond is made across light and shadow, I return. Zira gasped. How did you? He smiled. Must have picked it up from a very smart little girl. They both laughed, even through the tears. The engines roared. The ship lifted. Luna waved. Zara watched with a hand over her heart. Dax disappeared into the stars, carrying the future with him. Not because he was forced, not because he was chosen, but because he chose to give everything. For someone else that, the galaxy would won. Day remembered the day a human didn't take power, but gave it. And that changed everything.